images, teams of firefighters entering the parking garage, the cars covered in dust and debris, some of them on their sides. They have been working for hours here, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue and Florida Task Force 1, wading through water in the basement parking garage. In the dark, using flashlights, teams shoring up the floors above them with yellow beams, drilling into the walls to get inside.
These first responders are going in through tunnels. They're working from the top. They're working from the bottom. It has to be done very, very carefully.
Tonight, investigators are now studying that surveillance video that the country has now seen. The disturbing moment the condo tower collapses, captured by a nearby building surveillance camera. Now asking what could have caused such a catastrophic collapse. The Champlain Towers before the collapse and after. And you can see here the part of the building still standing. The bunk beds open to the air, bed frames, desks, dressers, deck chairs still by the pool. Those lifts giving rescue workers a view from above. Teams of 10 to 12 rescuers entering the rubble, working in 15-minute shifts here. They haven't stopped. These specially trained crews from right here in South Florida, they have been to disasters before, to Ground Zero after 9/11, to Haiti. Now, they are hard at work right here at home.
Everybody's running in one direction, they're running into the problem. And trust me, they're putting their lives in peril.
The entire structure is so unstable, streets have been blocked off for several blocks here.
There's debris falling off the building.
The search temporarily halted overnight during heavy rain and wind.
All units shelter, we had a bad weather roll in.
Late today here, more fires at the scene. Not uncommon with a collapse of this magnitude. The piles smoldering as firefighters race to put them out.
There's a crew that's there where that fire is burning. It's behind a wall that they're afraid to knock down to get to.
Since the moment they started, and they continue on, they do not stop. They work around the clock in the rain and the lightning, and small fires have taken place. They haven't stopped searching, and they'll continue to do so.
And the grim task of recovering the dead. 3 bodies pulled from the rubble overnight. Tonight, 4 people are confirmed dead, including Stacy Fang. It was her son, Jonah Handler, who was pulled from the rubble shortly after the collapse, waving his hand through the debris. We met the young man, Nicholas Balboa, who spotted the boy, telling me what he said.
What could you hear? What did you say back to him? He was saying, can you see me? Like, as he was waving his hand, seeing us sticking out, and he was like, here, it's me and my mom. He was just, don't leave me, don't leave me.
Tonight, we have learned that boy, Jonah, is 15 years old. He plays junior varsity baseball for his local high school here. He is now recovering without his mother. And the images tonight of the unbearable pain here, the weight, anxious families still waiting for any word on their loved ones at a nearby reunification center. Donations coming in from across the country. The families have been given shelter and food, but all they want is word. We're learning more tonight about the missing Elon Nygriff, 21, a student at the University of Chicago. His parents speaking to us late today.
Loved sports. He was my protector in every sense. Just all around good kid.
Edgar Gonzalez, his wife and daughter survived. They are in stable condition. Oresme and Betty Guerra, they lived in Unit 910. Their daughter Michelle telling us she's hoping they are together. Simon Siegel, a structural engineer born in Havana, Cuba. His family telling us he loves travel, movie nights with the family. He truly loves life, they said. Luis Andres Bermudez, his grandmother tonight, at a loss for words, saying my grandson is my everything. Rabbi Elliot Kielsen of Temple Menorah, saying 7 members of his congregation, his extended family, are missing tonight.
So many people are really, really hurting because we're a loving community.
Joshua Spiegel, waiting for word on his mother, Judy.
It's a struggle. We are praying every minute. We're hopeful that she's there, alive, and we're going to see her soon and be able to hold her hand and kiss her. And we love her so much, and we're going to see her soon.
Late this afternoon, we met Michael Noriega, showing us photos of his beloved grandmother, Hilda.
Was that this Christmas?
It was.
Hilda, his family's last living grandparent, 92, living in apartment 602.
She was the most loving person that I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, she lived for family, and I'll venture to say that she lives for her family. She's absolutely giving, and she was just the type of person that was the epitome of almost a perfect grandmother. She just loved us very, very, very dearly.
I can see your strength, and I gather your grandmother is partly responsible for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, she's the strongest woman I know.
We're holding out hope for her, too.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Hilda's family not giving up hope. They told me they couldn't even imagine this scene in their worst nightmares. It's just impossible to describe unless you're standing here. They can't imagine their grandmother, they said, alone in her apartment, but they, like so many here, are not giving up. In fact, this evening, that heartbreaking wait continues. Stephanie Ramos, not far from where we are right here tonight at the Family Reunification Center where they're waiting for word. Stephanie?
David, I spent so much time speaking with families, including Bettina Obias. She's been looking for her aunt and uncle. They have lived in that tower for the last 16 years on the 10th floor. And Bettina is not ruling out a miracle tonight. She says it was fate that brought her here on a last-minute trip to visit her aunt and uncle. And when she learned the news, she raced down to that tower. She screamed, she cried. She feared in her heart that they were gone. And like so many of the families we've spoken to here, she checked that survival list. They were not on it. She checked the hospital, nothing. Bettina says her aunt and uncle likely did not make it, but she is holding out hope that there are survivors tonight, David.
All right, Stephanie Ramos, not far from where we are right here. Thank you, Steph. So many of these families, of course, want answers. How did this happen? What could have brought this building down in such a catastrophic way? And tonight, what we've learned here about the history of this building. ABC's Victor Kendo now on that part of the story tonight.
Tonight, the cause of the condominium's partial collapse remains a complete mystery. Authorities searching for clues into why part of the 12-story building came crashing down, considering every possibility.
Further investigation will be very critical to understand what was at the root of this. Nothing's ruled out.
One man telling CNN his mother said she heard creaking noises just a day before the collapse.
She just told me that she had woken up around 3, 4 in the morning and had heard like some creaking noises. They were loud enough to wake her up, but that was it.
She's now among the missing.
This is the closest that we've been able to get to the collapse site. Right now, that crane, you can see it, it's removing debris from the side of the building, swinging it carefully over the top of that big pile of debris, and then moving it out of the way.
Part of that rubble could provide crucial evidence in determining what caused this tragedy.
You have to look at the design of the building. You have to look at the engineering calculations. You have to look at the quality of the construction. But I think in the end, maintenance is probably going to play a significant role in this.
The building had recently begun its 40-year structural recertification process. Work had started on its roof, but in recent years, it received some scrutiny. In 2015, a tenant sued the condo association, claiming water damage from cracks in her walls.
And a 2020 Florida International University study found that in the 1990s, the land beneath this building was sinking at a faster rate than in neighboring towns. One author telling us that they did flag the findings of their report. We've requested all public records on this building from the city of Surfside. So far, they have not been released. A lot of questions tonight. David?